College football season is just around the corner as Big Ten Media Days took place in Chicago this week. The two-day event began at the podium where 14 head coaches shared their thoughts on the upcoming season. But for 3 of them, the media exposure was also their Big Ten debut. PJ Fleck enters his first season at the helm of the Golden Gophers, bringing a personality that's new to Minnesota, but all too familiar to him.
I am just me. I'm the same guy 1 year at Western Michigan. Go back 10 years and see what I was like. Go back 20 years and see what I was like. I haven't changed a ton. I've always had a ton of energy. I love life, and I love to be a part of something that isn't necessarily easy to accomplish.
I guess we didn't know how high we need to have our energy levels up to until he restarted practice, and we realized that we need to come out and take the field each time with 110%, maybe even 120. We need to know that we need to meet his expectations.
Joining Fleck in the Western Division is Purdue first-year head coach Jeff Brom, who looks to build on a last-place finish in conference in 2016. The third new head coach in the Big Ten is the Hoosiers' Tom Allen, an Indiana native who also graduated from the school with a master's 15 years ago. In total, over 75% of Big Ten head coaches have been there for less than 5 years. Although there are plenty of fresh faces in the Big Ten, there's one man that's been around for almost 2 decades. Iowa's Kirk Ferentz is now the longest tenured head coach in college football. The Hawkeyes have been under the direction of Ferentz since 1999, but he says 2017 will provide new experiences.
Like every year, you have areas of strength, returning areas where you're not experienced and you're trying to measure up your team a little bit, and that's certainly, as we get started next week, something we're really anxious to tune in on.
Another notable head coach is Michigan's Jim Harbaugh, who brings plenty of energy to the table, but his players say he does a lot more than just that.
You know, besides all the antics you see on TV and what people say about him, he is just an unbelievable coach for his players, willing to do anything at any time for any one of his players, and I think that's what makes him so great to play for.
The Wolverines finished last season second in the East behind co-champions Ohio State and Penn State. In the West, reigning division champions Wisconsin were picked to win it again.
That's what's great about the season is you have to go play it, and all the talk doesn't really matter. And so don't spend a lot of time, energy thinking about what's being said. You try to focus your energy and your players' energy on what you can control, what you can best put your energy into.
The Badgers finished 2016 with a loss to Penn State in the Big Ten title game. This year's title match will be held on December 2nd at Lucas Oil Stadium, where Paul Christ and James Franklin's teams could meet again. From Big Ten Media Days, I'm Jenny Fischer, Spectrum Sports. It took over a century for the USGA to bring the U.S. Open to Wisconsin, where some of the best players in the world are getting their first look at Erin Hills. The course marks the longest in major tournament history at nearly 8,000 yards. But severe bunkers and high fescue force Erin Hills to play even longer.
I think it's a well-designed, well-bunkered golf course with a bunch of tee box options. It's kind of tough to prepare because there's 3 or 4 tee boxes on almost every hole that we could be playing from. So trouble lurks on the 18th off the tee. An exciting finishing hole. I lost my quarterfinal match on it by going bunker to bunker to bunker, and you can do that on that hole.
I don't think it's a secret that I feel like my driver is one of the biggest weapons in my bag. If I can get that in my hands more regularly, and if the field has to hit driver more as well, that plays into my hands too.
McIlroy would go on to shoot 78 in the opening round, his worst U.S. Open showing. However, a major-list player rose in the rankings. Ricky Fowler shot a record-tying 7 under in the first round.
There's a lot of really good players out here that haven't won a major. So it'd be nice to get rid of that at some point. And not saying that this is the week or isn't the week. I like the way this golf course suits me, and we're off to a good start.
Another unlikely candidate stole the spotlight come Sunday. Brooks Koepka rallied for 3 consecutive birdies in the final round of play. Koepka shot 16 under par, tying a U.S. Open record to become the 2017 champion at Erin Hills.
Staying patient, not trying to win. I felt like that's kind of been the thing lately with me, why I haven't really played that well. I've been trying to win so badly. I felt like I've underachieved. If the more patient that I can become, the more times I'll put myself in this situation.
History held true. Koepka also became the 7th consecutive first-time major winner.
If you look at the last 6 major winners, they're all different ages, all different styles of play, all different ages. From Sergio to me to Dustin Johnson to Henrik Stenson and the guys in between. The way we play golf is totally different.
I'd won once on the PGA Tour, once on the European Tour, and I felt like I've put myself in contention so many times, and I don't want to say got unlucky. I felt like it just never quite fully came together. But to win, my first major, in the United States is pretty special.
The USGA has sites booked until 2026, but in 10 years, the U.S. Open could return right here to Wisconsin. Reporting from Erin Hills, I'm Jenny Fischer, Spectrum Sports. The Milwaukee Bucks just got a little bit longer and a little bit taller on Thursday night in the 2017 NBA Draft when they chose DJ Wilson out of Michigan, who stands at 6'10" and boasts a 7'3" wingspan. Wilson averaged 11 points and 5 rebounds per game in his third and final season at Michigan, while shooting 53% from the floor and 37% from beyond the perimeter.
When we looked at DJ, we saw a player that we felt could play the 4, maybe someday as he matures and gets stronger, play the 5, has the offensive skill set to play the 3, so we really see a lot of positional versatility with DJ.
The pick was Horst's first major decision as general manager after less than a week on the job, but it had a similar look to years past. In 2013, the Bucks chose Giannis Antetokounmpo. In 2016, they picked Thon Maker. Both were first-round selections with a 7'3" wingspan, matching Wilson's.
He fits the DNA of the Bucks, being able to play multiple positions, as John just spoke about. We thought if he was there, that was one of the guys that we thought we had to have.
Despite how well he fits the franchise, Wilson believes he brings something different to the table.
I think my versatility with my height, my size, on both ends of the floor, being able to guard multiple positions, being able to shoot the ball and stretch the floor like I can. I think that's something that I can do right away and have an impact.
Wilson will get his first look at NBA action when the Bucks open Summer League against the Cleveland Cavaliers on July 7th. From the Bucks practice facility, I'm Jenny Fischer, Spectrum Sports.